This is Hackerspace LA. I'm Jorge Cornejo. If you guys want to check it out, that's where I'm at. That's a website. Right now it points to our Twitter account until we get one of our guys to finish the website. That's what we're going to be for now. You guys are new, so basically just going to give you the quick spiel. We're trying to make or create a physical space for the Hackerspace, so we can have 24/7 access, and people just come in and drop by whatever anytime you want. We want it to be on the San Fernando Valley, hopefully along the 405 corridor. That's between everything else in the valley. So hopefully that's what we're doing. I'm having a couple of meetings with people that work on nonprofits, and they're going to be helping us get to that point. And then once that's done, hopefully it will be easier to secure a place for us. What are we doing? That's it. So that's where we're at right now. Hopefully tomorrow I get very good news from that lady that I went to see on Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
So she'll get back to me.
Fingers crossed.
And I still need to talk to you about that too. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at. We've been having meetups every week, and with different topics. Basically what it is we're not teaching you how to do something except for the soldering class that we had. And what else
We
did
do
we
on
do?
occasion.
Yeah.
We may do more of that.
And thankfully the alarm didn't go off, so we were okay. But we try to give these meetings just to give you a topic of interest. People come in for that topic, and then they'll get that knowledge. If they want to pursue that, then they'll have the necessary knowledge they have. And the rest of the time, we just stay here and shoot the breeze. Talk about whatever you guys want or would like to do, or if you want to join us, there's ways you can help, and sort of things like that.
And obviously, yes, if you have an interest, we've done a whole line of stuff to talk about. So if you have an interest, you're interested in pursuing something, if you're looking for help with something or just information, I've been picking his brain about Arduino because I just kind of dove into that world. So
If you're into Arduino, this is your place. We're
we're gonna get a
investing
Raspberry.
heavily in Arduinos
I'm
here.
going to Raspberry soon.
I was going to ask if you got one.
Not yet. I literally just got the Arduino a couple of weeks ago. I was telling Kevin, I posted my first project. I'm treating it like a learning exercise. So I got an Arduino, so I want to do, what do I want to learn how to do? Okay, I want to do this. So I just set up a little temperature humidity and learned all the pieces that I wanted to learn with that basic setup. And it's been fun, but now it's made me kind of go down the rabbit hole. You can also do and this, and GPS units, and OLED displays, and
So the meetups usually run about an hour and a half. Only once it's been over 2 hours. That's when we did the Google Cardboard, but that's just because it was time consuming.
it's a good night.
Make all those cuts and getting it ready.
People have working units on their laptops.
So that's what we're doing. That's what we want to do, and you guys are more than welcome to join us on that part. If you just want to come for the topics, that's fine too. We don't care. We care, but we don't care. You just want us for our brains. That being said, today's topics is let's learn how to code. You guys say you have some experience in coding, programming, and maybe this will be redundant for you guys, but maybe you find something you didn't know. And basically, it's why you want to code. What is it? What you want to do exactly? Coding, and that will give you different options of website. We're going to cover free websites and hybrids, but most of it we're going to focus on the free offerings that they have. And there's different people, give you different advice, but most common, you find out that people want you to learn maybe the basic of 2 to 3 programming languages, so you get an idea of where you want to go, and not only that, but to get used to the different syntax that each programs have. You know, like the little, I guess some people call it pipe, means or, and other programs will not use that, but they will use the actual OR. So things like that, differences like that will get you get exposed to those when you have more than 2-3 programs. They also tell you, okay, Python is the easiest to learn. You should learn that first. Some people say, well, if you really want to get the base of programming, that's what you're going to use. Focus on C. That's the grandfather of all programming languages. That will give you the structure, the discipline of actually coding the right way.
You'll learn how to crash a computer in 3
Yes.
seconds.
You have C++, JavaScript. Everybody agrees you should know JavaScript no matter what. You're going to be programming JavaScript. If you're going to be doing web-related stuff, which everything that you do nowadays has a web component, then you should focus on some of your time in JavaScript. I myself did some Python, or BASIC, when I was in high school. That's where I got exposed with BASIC. I don't know if you guys, know what BASIC is? Yeah.
Apple Basic.
Yeah. And ever since then, from there I tried C, but it was just too complicated for me. I dropped that for a while, and then I came back when Python was starting up. So I got a little bit of Python on my belt. I did Java. I didn't finish the course because I just wanted to transfer school, so I didn't went back to study Java. And I'm not a programmer. I know enough to either be dangerous or just get stuff done that I need to be done at the time that I need it to be done. Python helped me a lot with Arduino. It's not Arduino, but it's a lot of the syntax. It's very, very, very similar to Python. It's based off of C, so if you have a C experience, that should be very, very easy for you. And Arduino. So it just depends on what you are interested in to follow a career, either in programming or some other side job that relates to programming. There are, if you're the guy that is self-paced, that you can do it on your own, there are different sites that will accommodate that for you. If you need an actual person telling you, this is how you do it, this is lesson 1, open the book, page 3, well, not that detailed, but then there's websites that also cater to that. And, there's hybrids, they give you they show you the first time, then they ask you to do a program or problem on your own, and then you'll check the answers at the end, things like that. These are they're not in any particular order. If you look at your sheet, accompanying sheet, it tells you what are the most common or used programming languages up until today or this year. And there's research was done by TechCrunch. So they have SQL. If you're doing any database programming, then SQL is going to have to be probably the major, because nothing else does that. That is that.
LAMP was an acronym I was trying to remember.
Oh.
When you were interrupted, yes. Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP are real common underpinnings for many, many websites.
I tried Ruby Rails. It's pretty cool, easy. Yeah, like really, really easy. Yeah.
Feels like that way.
Yeah.
Like that language is COBOL.
An Apple product. I don't know. Like, it's just so like clean and neat.
And I also try PHP. I know a little bit PHP, but these are just, they're subjective to people that are in the programming industry. If you're not going to go into that field, then this might not be your best guide to follow. If you're looking into a programming job, then you should have at least the top 4 or 5 on this list. I know if you're going to Google, you're going to have to know C++, PHP, Python, and I think some groups require assembly, but that's just for the X program or whatever they call it now. Ruby Rails, they also need a lot of people with that. Same thing with Facebook and all the major um, technological, technical companies. But there's a little bit explanation of what each programming, what's the best sample, not sample, but best use or advantage of the programs. It depends on what field you're going to be doing. So you can take that and read it later on. On the websites, which is what we're talking about today, also in no particular order, I have Code Academy first. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Yeah, that's where I found Ruby Rails, and I took the whole course and that's pretty cool. It's free. It's well designed. The site is well designed. Well, yeah, maybe I should show it. And and then again with the freaking passwords, man. I forgot my password. Yeah, I know it's taken.
You're doing sign up, not sign up.
Login.
I find too that I looked into programming when I first went to college back in '82, and realized that I was much more of a kind of integrator. I like teaching people how to use the computers rather than designing programs. Every program I could think of had already been written by someone else, and it's kind of like, okay, fine. Why reinvent the wheel? And unfortunately, all the degree programs at that time were coding programs. If you were going into computer science, you were learning to go to be a programmer. There really wasn't any other avenue for, at least at the college level. But over the years, I've learned stuff just because I wanted to do something with it. And so I tend to learn from examples. You start looking at demo codes or examples with my Arduino projects. It's like, oh, I need to read that temperature sensor. Well, how do you do that? Well, there's a little bit of sample code. Okay, that gives me the basics, and then I can go from there. But it gives you a place to start, and you can start to integrate from there. These tend to be more classroom-based, lesson-by-lesson based, which there is certainly some advantage to, and I'm probably going to go back and PHP I knew a while ago and then didn't use it for a long time, and I've been doing some stuff with it lately. It's like, yeah, I need to go back, reacquaint myself with the fundamentals of that language instead of relying on code snippets and examples online and stuff like that.
So Code Academy gives you 6 different tracks, and they have also developer track. They have you go through, I think it's 9 skills or 10 skills, I believe, or 8, I don't know. And according to them, once you finish all 11 skills, you are a beginner level developer, web developer. So if that's your cup of tea, I like this site. Their lesson plan is really, really well thought out, in my opinion. If you just want to learn quick skills, I say quick, but I think they're like maybe 10 to 20 hours, each one of them. I think the HTML is the fastest one, like 5 hours. So, if you want to pick quick skills or give an idea what you're getting into, Code Academy will be my best choice. So if you find it too hard, maybe you just go back a little bit, try maybe HTML first, and then get back to PHP, then combine it with JavaScript, and then make it a little bit more powerful with Python and Ruby, and then really, really get into database and add your jQuery, and then you can move on. See if you can want to do the track, the web development track. But it depends, like I said, and what you want to do. They have a couple of exercises that show you how to use APIs from different companies. I believe they're all from Google at this time. I haven't tried the animate your name, but basically they show you all the steps to get an API, how to get the license, the credentials for an API and all that. And then you can apply those to other companies or services that provided with APIs. Another one of my favorites on your list is number 6, Khan Academy. I like how he explained the Python, the beginning Python. It was very, very. I think if I had gone to another site like the Code Academy or the edX, learn Python, I would have just like, you know what, screw it, start. But the Khan Academy, it was pretty good. It was just Blackboard, and he explains it to you, and it takes his time and all that. So I like that. There are other programming, I think like 2 or 3 programming languages on Code Academy. But if you want Python, I will suggest you start there, Khan Academy. So if you like it, if you do, then you can go through their. I went through it in 3 days, like 2-3 hours each setting, and so I had an idea how it worked, and then I just went to edX and got the Python, a little bit more structured Python class. edX, I like that. Their offerings are a little bit more professional. They're mostly universities. You look in a lecture that university has presented before. Some of them, not all of them. And the it's the same thing. I don't know if you guys know about the MIT Openware program. They're similar to those. Most of what they have on edX. There's a lot of. They're very, very thorough. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of. Basically, you're in a class, and you can go. This is one of the sites that you can either go at your own pace, or go with the lesson plan that they have, and it's a live class taught by a live person. Well, you're watching the video that they're giving you every week, and they have a whole support structure around the class. You have their forums. They have the teacher or whoever's the presenter is available to answer questions. So that's a very good site if you're really, really going to sit down and spend 6 to 8 weeks with one lesson plan. If you don't want to do it, then you just look at the past offerings of the past classes, and you just pick one and get your own time. The only problem with that is there's the support system around it is not as big as the ones that are live, because people are not that already went through that, so they don't visit their forums or participate in them. So there might not be that many people in it. You have a question, probably get answered maybe 2-3 days. If you're on the live part of it, it usually gets answered within a couple of hours. You get an answer. So that's a very good offering, edX, and they have a whole range of classes there. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, but so far the ones I've taken, the free classes, they're pretty good. Code Wars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Code Wars.
I actually just saw it the first time, and it looks very interesting.
They gamify
Yeah.
there the learning process. So if you're into making points or going against somebody, learning more, it's they give you a problem, you solve it versus somebody else. So you're making it a game out of it. Some people like it. Some people, they get frustrated. They don't. I personally don't care much about it, but I see the benefit on it for other people, so I put it on the list. So, if you're motivated by that type of learning, then that you should check that out and give it a try. And like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. They're free. All you're gonna lose maybe 10-20 minutes of your time to find out if you like it. Coursera. That's a tricky one. They used to have a lot of free content. Most of it was not that good. Lately, they're getting better. But the best content that they have is the paid content. They do have free stuff, quality free stuff, and that's it comes around once in a while. Programming, they have few programming courses in Coursera. They're okay. They have an app, so if you can work on the phone or when bus or whenever you're commuting, you can use your tablet or whatever. You can use if I don't know if you have a Chrome at home. I tried that in the Chrome, so I just watch it on my couch. Like, oh, okay, big TV. So like that's pretty cool.
The Chromecast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think the other one they have a app that I can remember. Khan Academy, they have a cap, but it's just a video playback app. Doesn't really have too much interaction with it. The Free Code Camp, it's a little bit similar to the where is it? Oh, it's not there. To the Code Academy. They just started. Well, no, they didn't just start it, but they have few programs there. They have all the topics that you see in there, but there's not many choices that you have of as far as teachers compared to like Coursera or edX. You might have 20 Python classes in edX, so you have a choice of the teachers. You can read the reviews on Code Camp, Free Code Camp. There's not that many choices. Maybe one or two doing a Python, maybe one doing JavaScript. So but you'll have to see if you like the teacher, if you like the reviews, if that appeals to you. You can use those too. The Odin project that was recommended to me by somebody, and I don't know if you're how do you call it? If you are looking for credits for school, I think that's the one that you can claim credit for your school. I have to check on that again. So they won't give you the full credit, but they give you the equivalent of life. What's it called? Life earned credit for electives. If you're transferred to another school, some people like that, some people don't. But
another thing you can look for is if they offer what are called CEUs or continuing education units. You'll find that teachers and stuff have to have so many CEUs every year to continue their process through the workforce. And so anything that provides you that is just an added benefit or something you pay for if they offer a CEU.
Udacity. They have structured lesson plans. Oops, where'd you go? Yeah, that one I don't remember. They have structured lesson plans, and you can either, I don't know how people see not degrees but certificates from the school on the outside world. Some people say they help to get jobs and it's a good thing to have, but they offer certificate programs. The same thing with edX, but you have to pay like $35-50 extra just to get the certificate. You don't have to. You can take the class for free, get the knowledge, but some people want to have a shiny piece of paper that says that they completed the course. And well, that edX and the Udacity will give you that. Udemy. It's based heavily on web development, as just as the Coursera. Coursera? Yeah, Coursera. Is it Coursera? Where was I? Code Academy. Just as Code Academy. They're mostly, focused on web development. So you're going to have a lot of same things that you will see on Code Academy.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey.
So, you have different choices. My favorite is, one of my other favorites is MIT, the Open Courseware program. They not only have programming languages, but other things. They have a robotics program that I want to take eventually through that. To start using Python and Raspberries in the programs. So I have to check those out. But the only problem is they're a full semester class. You know, I mean, you can sit down and shock at them for the whole weekend. You go faster, but you know the lectures are 45 to an hour sometimes. So it is quite a heavy load. I mean, there's a lot of reading too, a lot of exercising, a lot of lab time that you have to do if you want to complete the course. I mean, you can skip things here and there, but you know, that's mostly what you will have to find out for yourself. I don't know if you guys have any things that you're interested in doing. Maybe questions about where you think you want to go or do. No.
Well, I know me as far as going to do, I'm more web-based, but as far as what I'm interested in, I'm really interested in robotics and Arduino. I just don't know how to start.
Well, I mean, you can do both. It has no problem. But you will have, well, you don't have to, but you should learn C plus, C plus. That will give you, C plus will teach you how to interact with hardware from that point of view, and then you can put on top of that, you know, a second language that will interact with C plus commands and move your robot and things like that. Arduino, it's really easy to learn, even if you don't know programming.
I'm surprised, yeah.
And they really cut down all the noise with the programming in Arduino, and you know.
With me coming from a world where I did the object-oriented programming, didn't exist. When I first learned to write programs, that's a hurdle I've never jumped. I've never jumped that hurdle to object-oriented programming, and that is so important these days. My son was taking Java in school as part of the Czech program, and I looked at the code and I was like, I don't get it. It's a different concept. It is. I would say it's somewhat elegant compared to the brute force methods we used in the past. And even in the Arduino stuff I'm writing, I'm brute forcing a lot of it. It's just like, I'll make this work. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll work. And I know that, and so I'm trying to get better at that. But that's one hurdle that I see all the time when I go into the object-oriented languages. It's such a mind-bending thing that I never made that leap. That trying to get my head around it is still very tough. That's why I think it's so important, because everything you do today, whether it's C++, Swift language, writing iOS apps, Java, whatever, they're all object-oriented, and they all make full use of that concept. And so if you get that in your head early on, I think you're really ahead of the game in that regard. I know from my lack of it. From the fact that I don't have it, I think I see the importance of it.
I think if you take the web development skills track with Code Academy, you probably do it maybe 2 weeks, a couple of hours a day.
Right now I'm on Mega Interactive.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this one is what, 19 hours, I think? 19.
I like the concept of learning via the web. Everything I want to do, I want to connect to the web anyway. We're talking about the Arduino stuff like that. And I think learning on the web is really useful because you see the results immediately. In the old days it was write your code, compile, oh, there's an error, go back. So the life cycle of how you develop was quite different. Where now you can actually, you're seeing some results in front of yourself. And as a student, I think
Refresh.
Yeah, exactly. Refresh it, save it, refresh the page, and just keep going back and forth. Another thing that I need to get better at in the rest of programming is this concept of knowing when you write several lines of code, what the results of that code are going to be, already in your head. Yes, there may be a bug in there, but that is something that I learned from a video editor friend of mine that I didn't have. He does it for a living, and he can see in his head, if I do this in the program, it's going to look this way visually. He can see that in his head. and therefore he doesn't have to spend so much time doing the reload equivalent. And you'll save a lot of time if you develop that skill too, of being able to say, okay, this is going to send it over there, it's going to grab that, okay. And yes, there will be errors in there, but you'll start to get better and better at being able to write workable code right up front that you can then elegantly, manipulate into something bigger. These great concepts that we grab from other worlds. Like, oh yeah, I would have to do the edit and render the edit and watch the edit. And like, that's a second too long. I need to trim that. Still the way I edit my videos today is by, brute forcing it again. I do it, I look at it, I adjust, I do it again. Where as you get more knowledgeable of something, you can start to kind of foresee what the results are going to be more.
Unless it's CSS.
CSS. The trouble, cascading. That's the problem. Cascading. Sometimes you make a change and it does cascade, and it all of a sudden your page doesn't load at all. With the web stuff, it really is because it is more interactive, and so therefore I think you spend a lot more time interactively loading and saying, and you run into weird browser incompatibilities and this, that, and the other. So you sort of have to do it that way, where writing a piece of code that reads a sensor, grabs these 3 results. Okay, you put a line of debug code and says, okay, just spit out the results. What did you get? Oh, you got garbage. Obviously, that line isn't correct. And you go back until you get the good thing out. But it is an interactive process, back and forth of just try and go on.
You could also, there's a link on the page, on the Meetup page, all the way at the bottom, or the beginning. The beginning. And it's called Skill Crush Coding Bootcamp.
That would make my head explode. I worked on the doing a little
that's
1 hour at a time is about all I can.
This I signed up for it and went to the first class. I wanted to see how it was. And it's pretty good. You sign up, you do the first day, then the second day you get an email with instructions. You follow through. You get your learning done, and then you do the examples. The next day you get the next thing. So it takes you step by step. It doesn't give you everything like Code Academy that you can skip, but you can't skip until you go past that first step. I mean, you can take more than 2 days on one, whatever. So it will be more than 10, but that's pretty good. I mean, from what I saw, you want to try it. It's also for web development.
It's on here or is it on the...
It's not one. It's right below, 3 lines above Code Academy. Skill Crush Bootcamp.
Looks like it's almost at the top there.
See it?
I'm blind right now.
Go up.
And if you guys want to talk about Arduino and other stuff like that, we have the discussion groups on Meetup are kind of
It sucks.
But the Facebook page is a little more functional, and then we're going to be developing some other forums and stuff. If you want to talk about the stuff, I love talking about it. So you have any questions, I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know, and very likely you will ask a question and I'll go, I don't know. Let's find out. and I'll run off like I do all the time. I'll run off and say, I need a PIR sensor for my project. Which one do I get?
Go to Amazon. 20.
I know.
I mean, 5 or 5. Well, I got 20, but there were 5 for 6 something. So I just got 20 of them.
I actually found a really good website. I'll have to post it to the list because there's a great guy out of the UK.
Oh, Banggood?
Well, he gets a lot of stuff from Banggood. But he does these really nice videos of just weird and
Lit?
Illit.
Illit.
Yeah, Jonathan or Johan Illit. Yeah. He's great. I've been going through his backlog of videos, and it's interesting to me because he talks a little bit about the Arduino, but he also talks about electronic stuff that I've never really delved into too much, and just weird products he gets from China, and Arduino clones, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I've been having fun.
I think that's the guy I saw the video where he created his own Arduino.
Yeah, he did the $5 Arduino. Because the Arduino, of course, is based on an open source setup. So you can literally build your own on a breadboard by getting the chip and a crystal, a couple of resistors, USB to USB interface.
Yeah.
USB to serial interface. I think it's about it. It's amazing what little it takes to assemble one of those. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, I don't pretend to be an expert in this at all. I'm still just learning myself. So the best thing I can do is if I don't know something, we can go look it up together. That's good because then it creates kind of a resource online that we can share with other people.
Yeah.
I'm all about the education side of things. I like learning stuff for fun, sharing that. So.
How you doing?
Well, hello. Come on in.
Hello.
Oh,
I think if you sat there, you might be out of the range of it. Looking in your face. There you go.
let's do it. Okay.
So, what are you guys' other interests? What are you interested in?
Mostly mathematics.
Math? Really?
I want to do functional programming, but it's kind of intimidating. The syntax just doesn't make any sense to me. So I do like Python and C, so like, because you just work with pure functions.
Yeah.
So
Fortran. Let's go back to Fortran. That was all mathematical. God, that was mind-bending when I did that back in college. Fortran is such a non-verbose language. It's very terse. It's very, and let's do a fast Fourier transform. Okay.
How about assembly? Assembly.
I haven't really worked with this.
No.
Does anyone? I mean,
Well, William is doing his own operating system.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in that, just William, should be in the members. Just hit him up. Tell him you heard he's working on his own operating system.
Well,
Yeah.
you got a name for it, or is it out there?
Not yet. He's still, but he's been going at it. He said what?
me writing assembly.
2 years almost.
That's too low.
I mean, it's gonna be a long time, but he's getting there.
Peeking and poking.
Oh, you met him.
I don't know.
Oh no, that was the good one. No, that was before that. But yeah, there are all kinds of people here, and everybody shows up with their own different topics when they come in.
I think it's great. Everyone's got their own kind of thing that they are interested in. I often I give career talks and stuff, and I talk about the fun stuff happens at areas where things bump up against my new media stuff and podcasting stuff bumps up against my career stuff and bumps up against my tech stuff, and it always spins off these weird little these things that happen. So I tell people to get involved with that and see what leads. The fact is, if you're into math, I would say most of the rest of the populace is weak in math, and so could probably use what you can do from any regard to there, because I know that happens to me. There's always a part of the project where you hit where you're like, I know this is math, and I know I have to understand more of what this is doing, but it's beyond me.
Well, if you're into math and you're a developer, you become a master librarian, as I understand, because wherever you go, there's a library for math. Where there's a library for math, there's something missing that you got to go to some other library for math.
I get real intimidated too, because one of our friends is a mathematician.
Oh my God.
His name is Art Benjamin, and you may have seen him on TED and other things. And he actually does a magical magic show at the Magic Castle that he performs on a regular occasion. He is a human calculator, so he can do math in his head faster than you can do it on a calculator. And lots of tricks and magic squares and all that stuff. And he has several books in which he teaches people how to use these secrets of mental math. I think it's one of his books. And he works at Harvey Mudd as part of the Claremont Colleges as a mathematics professor. But yeah, reading his books are mind-bending to me. It's read a couple pages and then kind of go, okay. So if that, you find yourself sitting there ruminating over what you've just read. And it's like, do I really understand this? Can I progress to the next section? Do I really understand what he's saying? And it's all, fairly basic math. But for someone like myself, it's quite intensive.
William. Oh, you met William. Remember William?
Yes,
Michelle,
yes.
working on his own operating system.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This guy.
I'm going to check the camera.